All right, if everybody's ready, I'll call the meeting to order. Any additions to the agenda first and foremost?
Good morning, Reeve and Council. A couple of changes to the agenda, some removals and an addition. First, a removal under item number 12B, General Matters. The town had originally requested a joint municipal letter to Minister Nicolaides regarding childcare advocacy. They've since chosen to submit that lobby letter on their own, so we'll remove that request from the agenda. Additions under 12B, a request for arbitration costs by Councillor Volk. And in addition, 12C, 2026 joint Town of Drayton Valley and Brazeau County Charity Golf Tournament. Councillor Gunderson has some comments and questions regarding that. Item 31, meeting dates. Please remove the date suggestions question regarding the joint council meeting. That was a misinterpretation on administration's part. Add to that the February 13th virtual presentation from the Alberta Free Energy Corporation at 1:30 p.m. on February 13th. That's related to that energy generation topic that we talked about with town council around the dome and the pool providing energy for that system. And that's all the additions that I have, Reeve.
Thank you. Anybody else? Glenn?
I need to declare a conflict of interest regarding agenda item 10A, memorial bench for former Reeve Neil Norton. The reason, he was my father-in-law.
Is that a conflict with the father-in-law? I thought it was just direct family.
That's defined as family.
Oh, it is, eh?
Yep.
Okay. Thanks for that, Glenn. All right, anybody else? Motion to approve the agenda with the amendments then? Kara?
I move the agenda as amended.
Discussion? All those in favor? Carried unanimous. Adoption of the minutes of the council meeting? Anybody? Glenn?
I move to approve the adoption, or approve the minutes of the council meeting of January 19th, 2026.
Discussion? All those in favor? Carried unanimous. Follow-up action list, Rudy?
Thank you. Council, we have 3 items coming forward from the follow-up action list. The bottom 3 on your list. Motion 693 regarding the memorial for former Reeve Neil Norton. That's going to be discussed today in the agenda. Motion 641 regarding the cost and information for a trial canola dust control program. Public Works will be speaking to that. And administration bringing back the confirmation of the minutes from November 4th, 2025 council meeting. We will be having that on the agenda as well.
Okay. Any questions? All right, we'll carry on. Maybe a motion to accept the follow-up action list as presented. Glenn?
I move to receive the follow-up action list for information.
Discussion? All those in favor? Carried unanimous. All right, so we've got minutes of November 4th. Request for council decision.
Thank you, Reeve. Based on a delegation that was at our last meeting, there was a question regarding the structure of that actual meeting and whether we were out of order with motions happening after adjournment. Council directed administration to go seek that out and confirm whether that was done correctly. We went through the minutes themselves and we reviewed the audio of that meeting as well, and we can confirm that that meeting was conducted properly and there was no motions after adjournment.
Okay. What's that? Oh. Okay. Thank you. So we don't need a motion for that then?
Just to receive his information, I believe Reeve should be sufficient.
Carol?
I move to receive the report regarding the November 4th, 2025 minutes for information.
Discussion? All those in favor? Carried unanimous. Repeal obsolete bylaws. Who's presenting on that?
I will, Reeve. We've collected several bylaws, and we're going to make an effort this year to clean up our bylaws. It's an important exercise and one that often gets left behind. These particular bylaws are fairly straightforward. They were pre-1995 MGA when council did not have natural person powers. because they didn't, they had to have bylaws for hiring, for getting into agreements, and et cetera. Council no longer needs to do that since 1995 because you have natural person powers, and a lot of these agreements are done over and finished with, so these these bylaws are obsolete. So we've collected up this section. We'll have sections throughout the year that we're going to propose be repealed by council, and this is the first section. If there's any questions, I'd be happy to try and answer them.
Thanks for staying on top of that. So you don't need a motion then? Or you need a motion?
Administration would like all three readings to repeal the bylaws that are contained in your agenda pack.
Okay. Glenn?
I appreciate this as well. So I move to give first reading to bylaw 1233-26 to repeal obsolete bylaws.
Discussion, Kara? All those in favor? Carried unanimous. Kara?
I move second reading to bylaw 1233-26.
Discussion? All those in favor? Carried unanimous. Anybody want to go to third reading? Are you? No, you can go. I know you were going to give it third reading. I just thought I'd slow you down.
Oh, sorry. I move to give third reading to
To go
bylaw,
to third reading.
to go to third reading for bylaw 1233-26 to repeal obsolete bylaws.
Yeah, you have to go to, if you're going to do all three in one day, you got to go to it, then you give it third.
Okay.
So, discussion? All those in favor? Okay. Yeah, that's other information Kara just shared, that if it's not unanimous, then you can't go to third reading. Right. All right, so now we're at a point where somebody can give third reading if they like. Carol?
I move to give third reading to bylaw 1233-26 to repeal obsolete bylaws.
Discussion? All those in favor? Carried unanimous. Okay, no delegations. Planning and development.
Good morning, Raven Council.
Morning.
I am presenting application 25A-008, which is located on pages 40 through 52 of the agenda package. And this application has been submitted to rezone approximately 10 acres from agricultural to agricultural holdings within a portion of Lot 1, Block 1, Plan 2520250, within Northeast 3057 west of the 5th Meridian. And this would allow for the subdivision of an equally sized parcel. A public hearing for this bylaw has been scheduled for March 3rd at 10:15 a.m. The subject lands are located immediately south of Township Road 505, from which all parcels will have access, and west of Highway 22 as shown on the land location map on page 42. The proposed rezoning is consistent with the county's municipal development plan, and the lands do not fall within any intermunicipal development plan or area structure plan, as reflected in appendices E and F on pages 48 through 52. So I am presenting for first reading bylaw 1219-25 for the rezoning of approximately 10 acres from agricultural to agricultural holdings within Lot 1, Block 1, Plan 2520250, within Northeast 3057 west of the 5th Meridian. Thank you.
Carol?
Chair to administration. On that piece that is subdivided off, there's a sweet pipeline that goes directly through that very bushed acreage piece of 10 acres. And I'm just wondering, is there setback rules that will limit the building sites on that piece?
Through the chair to Councillor Pope, yes, there will be setback requirements, so no development would be able to occur within the right-of-way. Any ground disturbance within 30 meters of the pipeline would require the consent of the pipeline owner. However, given the size of the parcel, there is adequate developable area.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Shane?
I move that council give first reading to bylaw 1219-25, proposing a portion of Lot 1, Block 1, Plan 2520250 within Northeast 3057, west of the 5th Meridian, be rezoned from agriculture to agricultural holdings as shown on the attached Schedule A.
Discussion? All those in favor? Carried unanimous. Anybody wish to give? Oh, you just wanted first reading this time, right? Okay, recreation vehicles within the NREP district?
Good morning, Raven Council. I'm presenting this report for file 25A011 on pages 53 to 59 of your agenda. This report is coming from a request for council to regulate recreational vehicles, or RVs, within the Natural Resource Extraction and Processing, or NREP district. This is a textual amendment to the land use bylaw. This discussion started in June of 2025 at a council meeting where council asked to bring back ideas of how to make recreational vehicles a discretionary use within the Natural Resource Extraction and Processing district. In September, we came forward with 3 options. Option 1 was to revise the surveillance suite temporary definition to allow for recreational vehicles to be used as surveillance suites. Option 2 was a new definition in the land use bylaw to allow for worker accommodations in RVs located on the site related to a gravel pit operation. And the third option was to combine the two and put them both into the land use bylaw. The motion that came out of that September 16th meeting was to proceed with option 1 of revising the definition of the surveillance suite temporary and adding development regulations to regulate RVs in the NREP district location. So that is what is in front of you today. A little bit of history just to ensure everybody was aware of the history of the reason this came forward. So the administration has prepared bylaw 1223-26 to revise land use bylaw, which includes the revision of the surveillance suite temporary definition to allow for recreational vehicles and incorporate some of the development regulations into the land use bylaw related to this type of development. This will provide a mechanism to include conditions related to RV use on these types of sites, so NREP or natural resource extraction and processing properties. So administration is recommending to go forward with first reading today. It's a way to regulate the number and use of RVs on NREP land, provide opportunities to include conditions of approval. It meets the request of council to make it a discretionary use. It provides clarification and transparency, and it would also allow clarification of RV use in some of the other districts that are not included in the community standards bylaw. However, we will point out that this does not necessarily address the concerns brought forward of workers living in RVs on site at a particular gravel pit in the county. I am available for questions if you would like.
Just a comment more than anything. So I don't have a problem with where you're going with this here, but what I'm wondering, is there an issue in regards to changing the rules partway through an existing permit? Like, so we're changing the rules now, right? They were allowed, or it was not mentioned before, and now we're changing the rules, you know, partway through an agreement. That's what I'm just wondering.
So to the chair, for the one particular development permit where RVs are mentioned within the conditions, that development permit would be valid until it expires. So
Okay.
I believe it was a 1-year permit that the Municipal Planning Commission had approved. And it does say within the conditions the requirements around the RVs, and that's how we had implemented it previously. We have notified all the gravel operators that we could locate through our development permit process on natural resource extraction processing properties that owned those type of properties, the landowners. They've all been notified about this particular change, so they have a chance to comment and have concerns with it. If they do, bring them forward in the public hearing process.
Okay. All right, thanks for that. I mean, we have a hard time with the province changing the rules, right? With us, you know, we have an agreement and then they change the rules and then all of a sudden things shift financially, usually. All right. Any questions, folks? Go ahead, Glenn.
Just on page 57, I'm just thinking, or maybe I'm not. It goes 6, 6.9, 6.10, and then it drops down where it's in blue, 6.4. Is that right, or should it be just reorganized?
So I believe you, sorry, through the chair to Councillor Gunderson, I believe you're looking at Appendix B. That is the relevant policy which we used to look at and ensure that this land use bylaw was meeting our municipal development plan. So Section 6 is the transportation and infrastructure policies, and then 6.4 is, sorry, the 6 at the top is the Parkland County and Brazeau County Intermunicipal Development Plan, which is our highest level statutory document that mentions anything related to gravel extraction. So we wanted to make sure that our land use bylaw needs to be in alignment with our municipal development plan and any intermunicipal development plans we have with neighboring partners. So that first section on Appendix B, relevant regulations and policy, is related to the intermunicipal development plan with Parkland. There is no conflict between it, and we actually have already heard back from Parkland saying they have no concerns with the amendment. And then below is the municipal development plan and the policies that we have county-wide within our municipal development plan related to economic development, crown land, and natural resource objectives.
It was just the numbering system. Like I said, if you tell somebody to look at 6.4, they might miss it, is all, but,
Yeah.
okay.
Any questions? Shane, Carol? Go ahead,
Do you have a
Shane.
question? You have a question? Oh, okay.
Through the chair to administration. I'm just to clarify, under disadvantages, it says this amendment does not address the concerns brought forward of workers living in RVs on site at a gravel pit. And yet, in the description, it says that the reason we're amending this is to allow the decision of RV use to be made, to provide a mechanism to include conditions related to RV use on these sites. So I'm just a little confused of what exactly are we amending here?
Sure, so through the chair to Councillor Vogt. So what the decision was to allow for a certain number of RVs on natural resource extraction and processing as a surveillance suite, which is there for the maintenance and security related surveillance, sorry to use the word of the definition, within the gravel pit operation. One of our gravel pits, the workers live on site, and they have up to 20 recreational vehicles on site to accommodate workers. The purpose of a surveillance suite isn't to house workers, it's to provide surveillance of the operation. So by amending it just for surveillance suites, it does not necessarily address the workers' accommodation style that is being used by one of our gravel operators.
So just to clarify, this motion, this bylaw amendment is to try and curb the allowance of workers living in RVs on the gravel site.
Correct. So through the chair to Councillor Vogt, yeah, it is to curb it and be able to approve it through a public meeting. That's why it's a discretionary use. So the Municipal Planning Commission would be the one making the decision in a public meeting. And it also allows us to put conditions specifically related to the recreational vehicles. So potentially saying about the generator use, the number, that kind of thing.
Okay, thank you very much.
Kara?
Thank you. Through the chair to council, just maybe some background with one particular case which brought all this forward. There was a number of complaints from residents in the area because it was a campground, basically an unsanctioned campground, and there was no control over noise, what was happening there on the weekends. So, and there's several campgrounds closely located to this location as well. So.
Shane?
Other questions?
No, I don't see any.
I move that council give first reading to bylaw 1223-26, proposing to amend the surveillance suite temporary definition and provide regulations for recreational vehicles within the natural resource extraction and processing district.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Carried unanimous. Okay, truck replacement, T78. Thank you.
Good morning, Raven Council.
Good morning.
Just looking for council direct administration to proceed in awarding the 2500 series truck tender for VEH-0055, replacement to Drayton Valley Ford in the amount of $61,865 from equipment replacement reserves. This was approved during 2026 interim budget. We did have 3 quotes back, as you'll see on page 61, and they were all under budget, and we're looking to award the lowest quote to Drayton Valley Ford.
Any questions? Carol?
Just through to administration, I'd like to thank you for keeping that well under budget by about $13,000. We appreciate the insight there. Thank you.
Okay, Glenn?
I move to direct administration to proceed in awarding the 2500 series truck tender for VEH-0055 T78 replacement to Drayton Valley Ford in the amount of $61,865 from equipment replacement reserve.
Discussion? All those in favor? Thanks, Pippa.
Thank you. Okay, next we're going to go to page 62 for a dust control trial, Epic DS canola oil product. So this was brought forward by a motion November 27, 2025, to direct administration to bring back costs and information on a trial canola oil dust control product. So maintenance staff and admin staff have looked into this in detail, speaking with the supplier and contracted references, and done a lot of research on this one. We're bringing forward 2 options. One's to apply it on our portion of Range Road 75. The second option is to apply it on our portion as well as the town's. And it's not on here, but without saying, there is the option to defer it to the 2027 budget or to accept for information also. So on page 63 does have the cost comparison chart that Nicole's done up. So you just see, so the orange is if we're doing it on our 800 meter section versus the blue one is versus our section as well as the section this in town of Drayton Valley if we collaborate. You'll see it's broken down between labor and equipment, which is on the bottom, that green, and then the top is the calcium versus this canola oil. So there's a large price difference there. So the current dust control product, MG30, it's applied at approximately $8.03 a square meter, where the Epic DS is approximately $31.05 a square meter. Epic DS is a biodegradable water emulsion dust suppressant that's stated to provide effective dust control even during drought periods according to the specifications. It does not need water or moisture to remain effective. Products made from renewable feedstocks, which provide a non-toxic and non-corrosive water product. And on the following pages, from 67 on, is the product information, SDS sheet, etc. Public Works did note some past trials. These have been brought forward to council in the past, but just summarize them. In 2018 and twice in 2017, we did trial some similar types of product. Previous dust control trials proved difficult to spot fix, didn't react well to water. They break down, wash away more quickly. Calcium is revitalized with rainfall and a lot easier to spot fix and maintain. Sturgeon County did provide information on their trial. So that starts on page 77. It was on a low traffic road. It didn't have the application didn't last all season. And the other reference we were supplied was Town of Two Hills. They applied it late in the season, so didn't have a lot of feedback, and neither county did purchase the following year. For the option 2, in the past, historically, this has been asked to be paved, so there was motions in the past to collaborate with the town of Drayton Valley. Although it wasn't in this motion to reach out to the town of Drayton Valley, it was a lot of the discussion about it. In speaking to administration staff there, they would not want to proceed in participating with the trial. The cost is substantial, and given the limited longevity of the product, they're not in a position to commit to those costs at this time. However, in saying that, it wasn't put forward to the council, so I wanted to leave that as an option.
So the product works, it's just that it's more than twice expensive.
Yes, and it's not guaranteed to last a full season, so that application may have to be redone in a season,
Okay.
where our current product could last a number of seasons.
Glenn?
Through the chair to the podium, how many residents live on 75? How many are impacted by our stretch of 800 meters?
2.
Just 2?
Yeah.
And so really, would we have to do 800 meters, or we could cut that in half and just do we usually do what, a 200 meter section per resident, or?
That's correct. The traffic counts on this road are over 200, so we could do dust control for the full stretch. If
Oh.
wish for free. There is a resident on there that does not want the current dust control calcium outside of his property, and that's why we just do it to the mailboxes.
I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, this was showcased at the RMA event. A number of councilors plus a number of staff had a chance to take a look at the product. It is expensive. I don't expect to go with the town option, but I'd like to try the option 1 anyways and see that. Just to see, because it's close enough that we can all monitor it, we could go take a look at it and see how it stands up. I would hope that it would last longer than a year. Like, that road has already got quite a bit of calcium on it. It should be somewhat able to get maybe an extended life out of it. Like, it's not going on a dry gravel surface. It's already on a surface that's been given a lot of applications of other materials. So, and since we can't really afford to pave it, this would just be a good test product for a high count road. When you got that many vehicles driving up and down it every day, it wouldn't hurt to have a look into this.
What would be the total cost for the portion that could be done with this minimal distance? It's $8 or whatever it is, so much a meter.
Sorry, I just have the cost for the 800 meters for our entire portion, but we could, I could find that out and break that down, if you would like to do a shorter portion.
Yeah, and then there's mobilization costs that are gonna be the same whether you do a short portion or a long portion. You gotta evaluate that as well. Carol?
Sorry. Through the chair to the podium. Now I've lost my train of thought. Just a quick question. You said that there was a resident that wasn't allowing the calcium chloride in their spot there. Would they be open to a canola oil-based product? Do you perceive that, or would we be having to skip that resident as well anyway?
Through the chair to Councillor Vogt, I haven't reached out to that resident, but their concern was the environmental impact, so I suspect they would be more interested in this, but I would have to have that conversation.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, just for me, thinking from a practical, pragmatic approach, I don't know if we can address every single ratepayer's concern or wants and needs. I would just reject this because of the cost of it myself. But that's just my opinion. Glenn?
Yeah, like I said, for Range Road, something like Range Road 85 also gets a high amount of traffic going up that hill, and it's a trouble spot. The calcium just doesn't seem to stay, and the road gets rutted up really badly. That would be another place this material could be used, but I think we first have to take a look and see. It would just be for trouble spots. I wouldn't recommend this throughout the county, for sure, with the price that it is. But for those trouble spots that are maybe just a couple hundred meters or whatever, that I know that hills tend to be terrible for rutting up. So with that, I move to direct administration on proceeding with the trial of canola-based dust control product as requested with option 1.
Okay, I spoke my mind. Any other comments from anybody else? Those in favor? Those opposed? Okay, so that's defeated. All right. Modest Creek Crossing, Moose Hill Bridge, engineering recommendation.
I don't have a report for this one, but looking for council direction, it was council added to the agenda, and I definitely could provide any information or answer any questions.
Glenn?
So this is in reference to the January 26th meeting with WSP engineers regarding the Green Bridge, Bridge File 70530, located on Township Road 482. The engineers recommended the drilling of 7 additional boreholes to monitor groundwater levels, aquifer pressures, and slope stability. This work would provide a clearer understanding of the landslide conditions on the east side of the bridge prior to proceeding with any bridge replacement. WSP has provided a cost estimate to the county of $70,000 for preliminary engineering design, which basically is something you need for environmental purposes, and $92,000 for the drilling of 7 new boreholes, and then the installation of piezometer instrumentation. There are currently sufficient remaining approved funds within Road 0308 for the Bridge File 70530 Moose Hill Bridge to cover this additional work. If council chooses to proceed with the current engineered and designed program, this work can be completed under the existing project code with the current consultant with no requirement for additional funding. It just, like I said, before we even consider, the way they explained it, the bridge wasn't really the issue, it was the groundwork, the landslide. And it doesn't sound like they would recommend doing any further investigation into it until we've actually identified what the issues with that slope are, and this is one way to find it.
So just in general, just because there's money in the budget doesn't mean you spend it. That's from my point of view. I'd rather save this money for actual doing something constructive, being pragmatic to actually use the money to actually go with the cost of fixing it, if we're gonna fix it. Right now, I just see this as being more money being spent, you know, on something that they already know that there's a problem. We know there's a problem. Visually, you can take a look and see that that's sloughing and slumping and falling back. You know, what they need to do is fix it. Spending more money to do more tests, I don't think is gonna give them any more information, from my point of view. Glenn?
I guess it is a $6 million question, right? If it's $6 million to put a new bridge across that crossing, if we don't ensure that it's viable, it could be a terrible mistake, a white elephant, right, project where it just gets wrecked. So this just kind of confirms that it's okay to go ahead. So with this, I move to direct administration to proceed with the current engineering and design work, including the additional geotechnical drilling survey and design recommendations for Road 0308, Bridge File 70530, Moose Hill Bridge, at the quoted cost of $162,000.
Any further discussion? Aria?
I do have a question, maybe through the chair to administration, if you would happen to know. With the STIP funding, does that cover the geotechnical side of things or just the bridge structural portion of things?
The full scope of the project, I believe. So
Oh.
the engineering and design of the full scope of the project, which includes the base that the bridge is being put into.
Okay, thank you. With that, I would just like to know what, if they're saying, like what they said, that the bridge is okay, I would like to get the cost of what the geotechnical side of things would be, if we can save the bridge.
Just through the chair to council, I don't think the feedback was that the bridge was okay. It would need some rehabilitation or replacements. There was still a cost there, but what significantly increased the cost from the initial 2.5 to the new 7 million was the inclusion of the bank instability.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Traffic, what's there, 4 to 6 vehicles a day on that? So that doesn't change. So, I mean, you just have to ask yourselves, is spending $4 to $6 million for 4 people, is that a wise investment from county funds? You know, the one thing that we as politicians are, we're accountable to the ratepayers for the money that we spend. And that's, to me, even though it'd be nice to have a bridge everywhere we can, for 4 to 6 people, I don't see the net value. And so they'll have to go around, come back and come back again. I have to do the same thing. You know, and there's lots of others examples, probably Dallas where he's at. He can't come through, so he has to go to 616, come back, come around. It's inconvenience, but I don't think you guys would want to spend $4 to $6 million to make a bridge across the Pembina for me. Just saying. Wow, Christmas time here. I don't know where to start. Kara, I'll go with you and I'll just work us around the table here.
Thank you. Yeah, my comment is more of a bigger picture before we spend any more money on this. Are we actually going to replace it? Let's be honest, and I think we need to have that wholesome conversation first as a council. Because if the will of council is not to replace it, then we're wasting more money. This entire area, we know is an issue. It's constantly shifting and moving. It's the Medusty Creek. It's just, that's what it is. So if we replace it, what further future issues are we going to have? If we're going to move it, we're going to have, you know, we're just moving the issue somewhere else because we know that entire area is unstable with that creek in there. So, but that's just a bigger conversation. That's where I stand with this. Are we actually going to fix this or not? So.
Aria?
Oh, I'm still on. I think that we should just sit tight for now and then maybe this November reapply for the STIP funding with the new parameters and the new information that we have. Because I know that we were told that it could potentially put us higher on the list than the information that we had before when we had applied for the STIP funding for this bridge. So that's my thoughts.
Thanks. And that was a good question you had for a new counselor. That was a pretty detailed question you asked there. Yeah, so. You forgot what you asked? Dallas.
Thanks, Reeve. I don't know how appropriate it is that we throw numbers at this. I have not seen a clear breakdown of if it's going to be 3 million, 4 million, 5. I've heard everything from 800,000 now to $7.2 million. So let's just be cool with what we say it's going to cost until we know what it's going to cost. Every bridge, every span bridge in Brazeau County moves. That's the nature of the beast. You can't prevent that from happening. The North Saskatchewan Bridge is filled with expansion joints and it moves every day. My question to administration is, if we go ahead with more geotechnical investigation, is it appropriate for us to tender this out? I mean, we just tendered out a vehicle for $61,000. This is a significant expenditure. Is there a less expensive route for us to take? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not an engineer either, so.
Through the chair to administration, so it was tendered out and they were successful in the tendering process. If council wishes, can definitely re-tender it out, but that company would then start from the beginning, so it would set the timeline back, start from the beginning, start there for investigation, and go from there. So we have spent to date approximately 83,000 to date, 84,871.
I will go to you, Carol, but to me, I'm not an engineer, but to me, the solution is getting a couple of big, long I-beams that are thick enough, drive them down to refusal, put a cross member across the top twice as thick, and support the bridge at each end. But I'm not an engineer, but I've built little bridges, and that's how I do them. I don't see that this isn't any different, but on a bigger scale. Am I wrong in thinking that's the approach that we take? So.
Through the chair to council, I'd hate to speak on the engineer's portion, but as a municipality, we are held to higher standards and public safety. It's a lot different than doing it on our land. So there is a number of entities they have to go through and boxes they have to check.
So I'm a farmer engineer, but not a real engineer. So I build it twice as strong as what I think I need, and then I might come close. But anyway, we'll go to you, Carol.
Thank you. Actually, just want to comment in regards to the comment that Councillor Westerland had made in regards to holding our guns here and just deciding if we're going to do anything with this bridge or not. My other question to, through the chair to the podium is, we have some landowners that are going to lose access to the other piece of their property. Are we under legal obligation to ensure that they have access if we do in fact close that bridge access down?
To the chair to Councillor Vogt, I'd have to refer to CAO on that. However, we do have a number of landlocked parcels within Brazeau County, and we do have a policy about that, and that they can apply for a road through to a landlocked parcel.
Go ahead, Rudy.
Thanks, Reeve. To the question that Councillor Vogt has, we're not eliminating access to the land. It just takes them longer to get there. They have to go around. So we're not denying access to their property. We're just making it a little bit more difficult for them to get there than it was previously with the bridge open.
Thank you.
Glenn?
Thank you, Chair, and to the Chair. Those same questions were brought by residents, and it's common sense, right? That you could just drive down some piles till it hits resistance and set the bridge back up, and that's exactly the question I asked the engineers on the 26th. I said, this seems like a solution. This is what citizens say. And they told us, all of us, that the problem with that, as soon as you do that, it requires engineering, and then the rest of the bridge has to be brought up to code. And they said, by the time you've spent that kind of money, you might as well just get a new bridge, right? The bringing them up to code is the same problem. We ran into this at the library when we wanted to update the bathroom. It was just moving a wall, piece of cake, and putting in a door, and we were told by the engineers again that, oh no, if you do that, you have to bring the entire building up to code, so you got to go through it all. It's really unfair, but that's just the way, that's the system we're working with. I'm getting mixed messages from council on what they want to do. If there's a full gallery here, we're going to look into it, we're going to have meetings, and then all of a sudden now it's not going to do anything. All this really does is it confirms whether this can even be fixed. There's no sense in applying for a STIP grant if that hill can't be fixed. Then why even apply for it? There's no sense in it. If it can be fixed, well, then it makes sense to apply for a STIP grant next year for going ahead with it. Again, the STIP grant covers 75% of the cost, so we might be on the hook for $1.5 million for a replacement bridge. Yeah, there's only one taxpayer get it, but here the entire county won't be on the hook for this if we get the STIP grant. I think we have, from what I understand, when that bridge got knocked down to a 2 rating, there's 9 different ratings. Once it got knocked down to a 2, it became a really good candidate for STIP funding. So we could be missing out on a really good opportunity. And like I said, the engineers, they made it very clear. This work has to be done as soon as possible. They got to be on, to get the data they want that springtime thaw. So basically, without this work being done now, if we push it into next November, we still have to do this work. So yeah, we could have the data now and know which way we're going to go or leave it. So I'll leave it up to council, and people can decide from where they want to go there, but we should clear the air on where we're going with this project.
You put a motion on the floor. Did you, Glenn, already? Shane?
Through the chair to administration, how much of this sloughing hill is on county land, and how much is it on private land? And if we do need to do these geotechnical things, can they deny us access if they so choose?
Through the chair to Councillor Blosky, so far the resident has allowed us on for this investigation and work that's been proceeding so far. It is not county land around there, so it is private land, and then where the waterway is, which is provincial. And it's just our right-of-ways to the road, so it's giving access to our right-of-ways.
Go ahead, Dallas.
Thanks, Reed. Yeah, it is a little bit premature for us to proceed with geotechnical at this point. I think we should get that second opinion. It's not far, and it doesn't cost anything, so we should do that first, in my opinion.
Oh, you mean retender for a second opinion? That's what you're saying?
I would retender.
Oh. Okay, I don't know what the stipulations are, at what point. I think it's over 75,000 you have to tender, don't you, Rudy?
Yes, thank you, Reeve. If we were to proceed with this project, it's within the scope of the current engineer. If we would be asked for a second opinion, unless council overrides it, we would be required again to get the three quotes. And as Ms. Whaley pointed out, engineers don't want to take up other engineers' work, so they would be starting back at the beginning with the $85,000 that we've already spent. That's our understanding.
Okay. Right now, the only motion that's pending is the one that we made not to do this project last fall. Is that correct, from budget?
To not apply for STIP funding, yes.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
So, and your motion right now, Glenn, is to go ahead and spend another $162,000? That was your motion. I'm not saying that that's what you'd still support, but, okay. So there's a motion on the floor unless there's anything else? All those in favor? Those opposed? You have to vote, yeah. Okay. Yeah, okay. Sorry, yeah. All right, so that's taken care of. Fire service? Sure, yeah, go ahead. We'll take a 5-minute break. You guys have been moving along rather quickly. We're on the additions right now. Oh, there he is. We're on the additions, Glenn. Yeah, so it's request for arbitration costs. We're on item number 12, 12B. Request for arbitration costs, Carol Volk. Glenn, is your light on for a question, or? Oh.
Thank you, Reeve. We are on the request for arbitration costs. At a previous council meeting, during our input session, there was a ratepayer that had asked for those costs and was wondering if they were coming forward. So I have inquired, and I would like to move to direct administration to release the report of the arbitration costs associated with the joint recreational discussions between the town of Drayton Valley and Brazeau County at the next council meeting.
So I'm a little confused here. Is that not public information anyway? Rudy?
Reeve, yes, it is public information. One of the things that, when you're looking for information, of course, through legislation, our minutes are very brief and succinct, and they talk about just motions, but the detail of all those motions is enclosed in your council packs. So all that information would be in the council pack. I don't recall the date of the meeting, but I know that it was in the, Mr. Swat presented it.
Okay, so that information is already public, so you don't have to ask for it twice. Glenn?
It was also in the Drayton Valley Free Press. The town of Drayton Valley had showcased all of the numbers there, so it was publicly available.
All right. So did you make a motion, Carol?
I just have one more comment on that, if I could.
Sure.
If it was the town of, was the Free Press article, did it disclose the Brazeau County's dollars as well?
It's been a while since I read it.
Okay, just in dealing with that request, and just in a matter of transparency, I just wanted it to be presented and in the meeting minutes. So it's fine.
Okay, so it's already done. The request for that is already done. Kara?
And just of note, the request also came from a resident that is not in Brazeau County as well. It's not one of our residents that requested it.
That doesn't mean we have to do their research. If they would have done their research, they would have known that it's already public information. So, all right. You don't have a motion on the floor, do you? Oh, you did. Do you want to remove it, or do you want to let it fail? Or pass? Kara?
I will leave it on the floor.
Oh, okay. This is where I say we can't chew our cabbage twice. But anyway, Carol's going to just leave her motion on the floor. Those in favor? Those opposed? You did vote, right? I did. Yeah, okay. All right. Thanks. I wasn't being mean or, facetious. I was just, we can't be chewing our cabbage twice on every bit of information that's out there. All right. Fire services. Well, I guess we could do the joint charity golf tournament. Glenn, you put that on. Was it for information or is it to move forward with it?
I'll be looking to move forward with it. Again, it's the same makeup, a committee made up of 2 members from Brazeau County and 2 members from the town of Drayton Valley. This year, we would have a subcommittee probably of 4 members at large who are really interested in organizing golf. It'll help steer the organize. They'll be awarded 4 tickets for their work to the event. We have some people that put together the women's event that are looking to help, and we have some soft commitments from people from last year's big sponsors in mind for these positions. We'll reach out to the Thunder this year for support for 50-50 opportunities and for assistance. We're thinking this year we won't need more than 3 or 4 2-hour meetings to set this up. And because we don't need to hammer out the little details like we did last year. We have a lot of templates and we know the costs, how to get this started. So we intend to reuse a lot of the promotional materials, online ads from last year. This year, Brazeau County's corporate services will be responsible for collecting the corporate sponsorship and entry fee monies, holding them, and distributing the funds for the course rental, catering, and the remainder of the donations to the selected 3 nonprofits. We're looking to do this with minimal staff time, like advertising the event and seeking out sponsorship for Brazeau County's key suppliers. Any Brazeau County councillor participation would be greatly appreciated to help find corporate sponsors for this event. We'd get flyers out to you as soon as possible if you could go to your businesses in your area and see if you can't drum up some. They can also help on the day of the event by giving welcoming speeches like the Reeve did last year, helping people register, sell mulligan tickets, 50-50 tickets, witnessing the hole-in-one events, assisting with the prize tables, or just meeting and greeting participants. And for the supper, if you just come to the supper, you don't have to pay, you just come. Any counselors wanting to participate in the golf event would have to purchase the ticket to attend and register themselves, just like last year online. Tickets will be available online and will be priced close to what they were last year, probably $175, which includes 18 holes, a cart, and the meal. We'll be looking at bringing a portable ATM machine in this year so we can drum up more cash. A lot of people just didn't bring any money for the event. As this is a charitable event, councilors should not charge time for any of the meetings or the event. The goal is to run a charitable event that doesn't negatively impact the municipalities of either the town of Brazeau or town of Drayton Valley or Brazeau County financially. So,
Make a motion there, Glenn. Just listening to the comments coming, some from the town of Drayton Valley, they said that they would really appreciate it if Brazeau County would be a lot more involved, because my understanding is that they did most of the work. And so before we commit them to their time and expense, we should maybe have an initial chat with them, first of all, to see what they need for extra support. So it was pretty clear to me that they thought that, we need to do a lot more on the volunteer side of things as a county.
that was my point too. I didn't want to go on with this event if we didn't have more help, and not have to lose staff. So last year what happened, we organized with that intent, and the CEO at the time, Pat Vincent, he knew what he was doing. He'd organized ones in Chestermere, so we went with his, but he brought in a lot of staff. So, and then he had a lot of meetings on top of it. So I think we had a total of 9 meetings. We had two a month, right? Leading up to that event, we didn't need, great we had them, but at the same time, it was heavy on staff time. This go around, we intend to have meetings without staff and to do the event without staff. We'll invite our CEO to come and play, and the town CEO to come and play, but otherwise, no staff. So we're just not looking to have staff, and that's the idea of having the 4 members at large. I can't mention their names, but one of them rhymes with Lindsay Wilkes, and she won the tournament last year, and yeah, she's quite engaged, and I think we have we're going to try to get more help from the people that are getting the money as well, the 3 nonprofits, and bringing them in a little more, but we're intending to do this with less staff, so the only staff we're going to need, if Brazeau County is handling the money side, will be our financial corporate side to take the donations and hold them and then pay out to the course and to the person that does the catering, and then the 3 nonprofits. So there shouldn't be a lot of work on that. Also, to be clear, our own corporate communications did a lot of work last year, and I appreciate it, and I don't see that changing. So, but we'll just kind of do the same thing. We'll just send them the images. Can you add this to the next Facebook page or whatever? So I don't know what those costs are for that time, but we appreciated it the last go around. And it's just a way to raise money for 3 nonprofits in our area. So I did talk to the mayor, Nancy Dodds, yesterday. She's going to bring it to the town council at their next meeting. And so, yeah, it sounds like town council is on board. So yeah, we're just trying to get everything lined up. The quicker we can start things, the better it'll be, because we need to get it organized, and then get the materials printed and start looking for donations to this event.
Right, it's a good cause, that's not in question. And we've got at least one under our belt, so it should be easier. I agree with you on that, is that it should be easier the second go around. Oftentimes, though, what we learn from history is we don't learn from our history. So all the hiccups and hurdles that we've had in organizing this, we should be able to short circuit them if we know where those speed bumps were at. So I'm not sure what you're asking as far as right now, but I think initially you should find out from the town. And if they're on board to go full steam ahead, and then just work out whose responsibility is what in regards to organizing this. You know, just so that they're aware that they're not going to be just left with the bag organizing it all.
Yeah, like I said, I think that was the discussion I had with the mayor yesterday, was that would be how it works, is the committee members would organize, would do the calling, would do the organizing, and not, like I said, last year we lost control of it because the CEO at that time, he brought in that first meeting. I think we had over 6 staff members show up at that meeting, and pretty well every other meeting he'd have 3 or 4 there, right? And he delegated the tasks to those people and not to the committee members. So this year we're intending to leave the CEOs out of it, do the organizing. It's not much organizing. It's literally phone the golf course, make a reservation, phone the caterer, make a reservation, and then send out the invite. We already have a list of people that we want to invite, and that we did for last year. We have that full list of invitations, and then the full list of people that we asked for sponsorship from. So we already have all that information from the town. All it is a matter of sending it back out.
Okay, well, I agree with you on that too, so. Kara?
Thank you. I believe what Councillor Gunderson's looking for is a motion today from support of this council for the work that's going to entail if we're going to move ahead with this. I think the town, I've had conversations too, they've asked about it, they're on board, but I think we need a motion authorizing individuals to participate, and that the county's name is going to be used, and there's going to be a lot of work that goes into organizing this. So I think that's what Councillor Gunderson's looking for today is, yay, are we on board to do this? And if so, we need a motion so that we can authorize to do some work. So, and it's going to take some tests, some staff time and some of their efforts too. So maybe our CAO could answer if we have capacity for that.
Well, we're not excluding. Glenn said you're going to exclude the CEOs. I think they'll be keenly engaged as well. So go ahead, Rudy.
I'm happy to be engaged and involved and support it myself. I did indicate to Councillor Gunderson that I know that we don't have the staff resources that the town had to put at it, but I'm certainly happy to support it.
Carol?
Thank you. Perhaps maybe I should disclose that I was part of one of the recipients of the last golf tournament as far as the Brazeau, the Drayton Valley Health Foundation. So it was an awesome golf tournament. For a first try, it was well done and well handled. My question, just from that experience, was what is the cost to Brazeau County in regards to handling the financial aspect of that? That was a little confusing. Just curious on who chooses those local charities to receive the funding? What is the criteria around who would be receiving the funding from the money that is raised? And also the charitable status for those donors. So when a donor makes a commitment of $5,000, who's giving them that charitable tax receipt? How is that being handled? Those are just some questions that I would have.
Kara?
Councillor Gunderson can jump in and help. I believe the charitable donations that came from the town, so I think this year that's what part of the ask is that handled through our office. The charities were picked by the committee that was formed. So I would assume if you want to be on the committee and you want to participate, that's how, if you want to be a part of who's choosing what committee or charity, that's how that was picked. It was agreed upon by the committee. Help me out. You might have to turn your mic on because there's lots of questions. Good questions.
Sorry, Mike.
Yeah.
My other question was in regards to the cost to Brazeau County in regards to handling the financial aspect of that.
Yeah, and I think that's part of what Councillor Gunderson's asking for, because we didn't do the booking last year.
Right.
The town did, so I don't know if there's upfront costs that the county has to cover until the donations come in, but that's, I could probably dig up, but Glenn, do you have a copy of the financials from last year? Because whatever money was left over, that's what's donated, once everything's paid for. So your biggest cost is the golf course, and then the meal was the biggest cost. And I think there's some upfront costs, but there's, what the town had done is kept it all separate. They bore some of the cost till the money came in, and were reimbursed. Everything came in, and then what was left over was split between the three charities, which I believe was close to just over 50 grand.
Carol, go ahead, finish off.
Sorry, just to clarify, when I talked about the charitable tax receipt, you said the town would be issuing those. Would they have a nonprofit charitable tax license through the DV Community Foundation? Okay, that's what I just wanted to double check on. Okay, thank you.
Glenn?
Yeah, I did try to get, our chief financial officer is on holidays right now. I would have loved to have been able to clear up some of that. Those were questions I had as well. Like I said, last time the town handled all the financials, so we didn't see. The idea is that the county will be made whole, that it won't be out money for doing the financials on this. So yeah, like I said, that's like I said. But yeah, unfortunately, he's gone right now. But like I said, I don't know.
Do you have a motion on the floor, Glenn? It could be something along to work with the town of Drayton Valley in regards to the charity golf course, just so it gives some opportunity if the town isn't 100% behind it.
I move that council approve the 2026 joint Town of Drayton Valley and Brazeau County Charitable Golf Tournament event.
Discussion? All those in favor? It's carried unanimous. Okay. Who wants to sit on this committee? 1, 2, 3?
Well, it's volunteer, so.
Yeah.
There's no money, so it's, you probably take it, I take all that.
So, yeah, if you want to come. Yeah. Okay, so Aria, Carol, Glenn.
I'll help too.
Okay.
It's not as much as last year.
Okay. All right. So just make a motion that Glenn, Carol, and Aria will be on the charity golf committee. Go ahead, Shane.
I move that,
We appoint.
or, sorry, Oh, appoint Glenn, Carol, and Aria. Oh, no. Stopping.
Pardon me, I'm just concerned that if you're appointing members to a committee that council hasn't sanctioned, you have a committee appointee policy, and it also speaks, we've changed it now that your members at large require criminal records checks. So I feel like you might want to keep this on the unofficial side.
Yes. So we will not do any of that. So,
There could be a motion that says, those that wish to help on the charity fundraiser, put your names forward or something like that. No. Okay. I think we're on the one that you had a, well, we could do the additions on the virtual present, oh, that's at 1:30, so we can't do that one. So yeah, we're on the one where you have a conflict of interest. Okay, so there's been a request to do a memorial, something or other, a bench or whatever you guys feel is appropriate for former Reeve. I was just gonna ask Tina, you weren't around then, but I know we did it for Marine, we did it for Dave Ellis, we did it for West Tweedle. I don't know if we did it for Henry Rondo. I'm just wondering if there's a gap in the program. I don't remember anything being done, because he was one of the originals with Neil Norton as well. But then again, I don't know if he's still alive or not. But you wouldn't wanna, maybe we'll just hold off on that and find out if there is anything done. But right now, with Neil Norton, what do you think is appropriate? I always thought about a little table and a bench, like the Dave Ellis one, where you could sit and chat outside on the corner. You know, I sit down in that chair every once in a while and I think about Dave. It'd be nice if there's a little table there and another bench. We learn to sit on our butts a lot in council. What is your thoughts there, folks? And where do you think the family would like this? Well, I guess what we'll have to do is just set a number and what we're thinking of doing.
May I?
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you. I think it would be appropriate, Reeve, if we had a bench that was dedicated to all the Reeves. I mean, why would we want to have 5 separate benches? Maybe we could just have one. That would be most appropriate, in my opinion. Dave is out there all by himself. I think he would enjoy some company, quite frankly. But we also have policy 10 that speaks directly to benches, and I think the request is for a bench. I don't know what would be entirely appropriate, but yeah, I think the ask is a little bit out of our price range, but I'm not sure how the rest of the council feels.
Wasn't there a number for when people pass away, a certain amount, the maximum? Kara, you got some recollection?
Thank you. I was actually going to ask staff.
What I have before you there, I know the original, like there's the 2 benches there. The one is up to $5,000. But I know in the past, I know AFPAC had put one down at Rocky Rapids, and Councillor Mark Gressler had put one for his mother. Those costs were the concrete ones, and then that was sourced locally, and that came to $3,000.
Through the chair to administration, have we talked with the family?
I haven't spoken to the family. I did speak to the Brazeau Sports, like the softball people, and they were okay with having the bench at the location that was brought up. They were good with that. As far as bringing up the cement bench as opposed to the steel one, No, I haven't had that conversation yet.
Through the chair to council, generally, in the past, we've spoke with the family, and I think that needs to happen too before you make a final decision on what we, because they do, sometimes they have a better idea for us. So I think part of, I don't want to delay this, but part of the motion needs to make sure that we do this in consultation with family.
We still have time to, because this wouldn't be until the frost's out the ground anyway, so.
They might not want a bench, there may be something else that they maybe be more appropriate and actually less expensive, so that's why we should have that conversation with the family.
Just if I recall correctly, I believe that Councillor Gunderson had spoken to the family with it being his father-in-law, and it was their idea to put a bench at the Brazeau Sports Park because he was Neil Norton was a baseball enthusiast, so I believe that conversation has been had.
So did you say the cost for 3,000 for a concrete bench?
Yeah, the concrete one would be, with the apron and everything, would be about 3,000. I know this one that Glenn forwarded from the family, that particular one is 5,000, yeah.
5,000.
Yeah, that, like he had a picture from the family on page 93 there, the one at the bottom there, that blue one. That's the $5,000 option.
So people aren't gonna take that for granted, are they? Granted? Come on, there's a little bit of humor
I can
there.
just confirm, I can still reach out, like administration hasn't confirmed, and just, I can have the conversation, then get back to council just to see exactly. Because they probably don't even know about the concrete option, so.
And is that built by local people here?
I know that in the past, AVPAC had a cement, they made the benches, yes. The last two we've got them from her.
Oh, okay. And that's in the ballpark still?
Yes.
Literally? Sorry, I just can't help myself.
You mean the price, yes. Actually, we hadn't confirmed from AV yet, but we actually confirmed a price from even out of town that it would be $3,000 too. So it might be less with AV, so.
Kara?
I move council approves up to $5,000 for the supply and installation of a memorial bench at the Brazeau Sports Park for former member of council, Mr. Neil Norton.
Discussion? Dallas?
Yeah. Yeah, so here, council, is that, Tina has it up there, $1,000 for completion of 20 to 24 years in office. That is significant. I think we just missed the mark a little bit with the value. Council policy 10 would suggest that memorial, yes. Dollar amount to be set by council at that time. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I'm not comfortable with the value. This is taxpayer money. Sorry. I move to amend $1,000.
I think it needs to go up a bit. How about an average between 1 and 5?
Look at, you got
24
years,
years,
and you get $1,000.
Pardon me?
You serve 24 years in council, you get $1,000.
No, but that's 1,000, that's for a different issue though. That's for serving, not for dying. I'm just reading the. No amendments? I'm supporting the idea, but I think 1,000 is just a little low.
Okay, why don't we kick in? Why don't each one of us contribute?
Well, that's always an option for anything, Dallas, but
Yeah, we could do that.
I don't think that you were there when Neil Norton was serving.
I was here.
You were
I
here in
knew.
the council?
I was not on council, but I knew Neil.
Yes, I know. Okay, so Kara has a motion of up to 5,000. Dallas has a motion to do an adjustment amendment to 1,000. We'll deal with the amendment that Dallas has asked. Is it friendly, Kara? No. No.
It's not friendly.
Pardon me? Vote on the amendment. Yeah. All right, those in favor of Dallas's motion?
Dallas is.
Dallas is. So Kara's motion is still on the floor. I think it's, for $5,000, it's respectful enough. And it's up to 5,000, so. So if there's no other amendments, I'll call the motion. Oh, go ahead. You snuck it in there.
Sorry, this is just in reference to the original motion. There is not a lot that you can achieve for $5,000 in this day and age. I know I've done some other benches for some other memorials, and 1,000 is just not going to cut her, so.
5,000 should?
I am in support of that, yeah.
All right. So Kara's motion is still on the floor. All those in favor? Those opposed? Dallas. All right. What's that expression about cornflakes? All right, we're at the Easy for It Hall, Glenn. Mechanical system, request for council decision, page 94.
Good morning, or even council. I'm here today to present a request for council decision on the Easyford Community Hall mechanical system, the heating, and the hot water tank. As council knows, Brazeau County entered into an agreement back in 2017 with the Easyford Community Center Society to transfer the property. Since then, the county has been operating the hall through third-party contractor. The hall currently utilizes aging heating equipment that is nearing the end of its service life. Furnaces are 1987s. The one hot water tank is a 1985, and the second is a 2004. Late last month, the hall operator had contacted me, and furnace number 1, which services the front lobby, the kitchen, and the washroom areas, it was not functioning, and upon inspection by a local contractor, we were advised that furnace number 1 had failed and now requires a full replacement, as parts for that furnace are no longer available. Administration has obtained pricing for 2 different options, one to fix the immediate issue of the single furnace, which came in at $8,000. That does include some work to retrofit, as furnaces have gotten quite a bit smaller since those ones were installed. So there is a little bit of work that needs to go into retrofitting in the mechanical room. We did also obtain pricing for a full mechanical system upgrade, which would replace all 3 of those 1987 furnaces and the 2 hot water tanks, one of which is a 35-gallon, the other is a 25-gallon, and that would be replaced with a single 75-gallon, 7,500 BTU hot water tank. Administration is recommending that all 3 furnaces, as well as the hot water tanks, be replaced. This would lower the risk of future downtime and creates a per unit pricing advantage in comparison. This cost of the single furnace, as I had said, was $8,000. To do 3 furnaces and the hot water tank was $24,000. So we're basically getting the hot water tanks done for free. And administration is seeking council's direction to determine the preferred scope.
So as being a furnace man in the high Arctic, it looks like there's an airflow issue there too. If they're gonna look at changing that stuff, they need to make sure that it's got adequate airflow to feed the fire. I'm just looking around the controllers there, and only from a visual here, but, and the other thing I was gonna ask is the water been tested there? Like, is it hard, is it soft? Because we've had some issues like in Rocky Rapids where the water was quite hard on the equipment, and so it was quite corrosive. I don't know if that's an issue in Easy Ford, but we may want to have the water tested, and you may need to put in a water softener if there isn't one there already.
To the chair, at this point in time, water hardness has not been an issue at Easyford, though as far as actual testing of that goes, I don't know that it's ever been done. So that's certainly something that administration can look into had, if that's council's wish. But at this time, the water hardness has not been an issue. As far as the airflow goes, the contractor that gave us the quote did do a full walkthrough of the hall, and they are aware of the potential for airflow issues in there, for sure.
Yeah, the testing for hardness isn't, you can just get those strips, which isn't a big deal. Easily done. But I'm just a politician at this table, not a furnace repairman. Glenn?
I think it would make sense just to do all three furnaces at the same time. That way you're dealing with the same parts. I just replaced my furnace in my house, and the old furnace was 65% efficient. Like, a lot of hot air just went up the stack, and this new one is 95%, and it just uses plastic pipe for the exhaust. It's cool to the touch, so the efficiency rating is pretty amazing. Plus, my furnace and my new one is 20% smaller than, like, in size than the other one. It fits in the same pattern. It's shorter is all, but I might have got a deal on it, but I don't think we didn't pay much more than $5,000 for that, so I don't know why these ones are that much more expensive. The water heaters also, I think if we had an issue with the water being acidic or hard on those water tanks, they'd have had a hole in them a long time ago. That's an old water tank. And I know that I feed off of probably the same aquifer. The water is really nice where I live, and I think the water was nice when I was at the hall too. So yeah, just like I said, from a standpoint of repair and replacement, it doesn't make sense to replace one and then piecemeal the other ones and then have a bunch of mixed different options for furnaces. And the savings that you'll see on your gas side, it would just make sense to change them all out at the same time.
Yeah, I was amazed. I did the same thing with my hot water tanks, but your exhaust pipe is a piece of plastic now. Now, who would have thought that your exhaust for a fire would be a piece of plastic, right? Pretty amazing the efficiencies that are out there. All right, so I kind of agree with what Glenn's talking about, but I'll wait to see what Carol has to say.
Mine's very similar, through the chair to administration. I'd just like to say that I agree that, those hot water tanks, the one hot water tank is 40 years old. I personally have replaced my hot water tank in a short period of time there. They just get old and they get credit up in the bottom, and so by replacing the two with a bigger one that's more fuel efficient, we'll be saving the county money anyway, just in energy costs. And as far as the furnaces go, same thing applies. I think it would be my recommendation to replace the whole mechanical system at this time.
All right, does the 24,000 cover everything?
Yes, sir, it does.
It does, okay.
Can I just wanted to mention, I know Glenn's comment about the price. I don't know if, sizing comes into play as far as the bigger hall, but one thing, when it goes out, we have to get further, we've only got one quote so far, but of course, we'll be getting more quotes, so of course, it could be cheaper anyway. So.
Okay, so you need a quote or a motion up to a certain amount then? Glenn?
Yeah, that makes sense to me. Thank you. I move to approve the full mechanical system upgrade at the Easy Ford Community Hall, replacing 3 furnaces and the hot water tank at a total cost of $24,000.
Up to 24,000? Glenn?
Up to $24,000.
Discussion, Aria?
I'm just going to excuse myself from the vote just due to conflict of interest, as to not have perceived bias. So.
Okay. Okay, discussion on Glenn's motion? All those in favor? Carried unanimous. Aria, you can come back.
Thank you, council.
Probably just barely got out of the room, eh? Repealing bylaw, library non-operative bylaws, page 98 to 113.
Yes, so page 98, as our CEO previously updated, we have natural person powers now, so that changes some of these, but the bylaws we're looking at changing was bylaws 7989, 6189, 4489, 4389, and 4289 are recommended to be repealed as they were enacted for the sole purpose of creating agreements. And then we have, I'm not going to read them all out again, but the other bylaws were established because we had a municipal library board, and then before the Brazeau County had a board, but it was more like a flow-through board. So now we just deal directly with the Village of Breton and Town of Drayton Valley, and that is always highlighted in the budget there. And then we finally have the final bylaw, which was a duplication, which was both were grant permission to enter into a cost-sharing agreement with the Town of Drayton Valley Library Services. Administration is recommending that council provide all three readings to repealing bylaw 122526, as the bylaw identifies as no longer required for operations.
You know, I always, I'm amazed that I put up 165 miles of fence. I'll be fencing for the rest of my life. In comparison to this, there's just no end. There's just a constant upgrading of paperwork, of bylaws. It never stops. So I'm not opposed to anything. I just thought I'd try to put some farming pragmatic skills to the test here. Anybody want to go fencing? All right, so we need a motion. Carol?
I move to give first reading to repealing bylaw 1225-26, library non-operative bylaws as listed.
Discussion? All those in favor? Carried unanimous. You wanted all three, didn't you, today? So we need second reading, Aria?
I move that council provide second reading to repeal bylaw 1225-26, library non-operative bylaws.
Discussion? All those in favor? Thank you. I'm not going to say anything. Go ahead, Shane.
I move that council go to repealing bylaw 1225-26, library non-operative bylaws.
You said third reading?
Third reading.
Yes, okay. That's what I thought I heard.
Yeah.
Discussion? All those in favor? Carried unanimous. And Dallas?
Last one. I'll move that council go to third reading for repealing bylaw.
No, you want to give third reading now.
No, we gave it, didn't we?
No, we went go to third reading.
Oh, yeah, I
Now
want to
you're
give it.
giving
Yeah, so
third.
that's what I said. I want to give third reading. I move that council give third reading to bylaw 1225-26, library non-operative bylaws.
Discussion? All those in favor? Carried unanimous. So we've got general matters, unless I've forgotten something along the additions. Nope, I don't see anything there that I missed. General matters, Eagle Point Loppet, 50th anniversary report, Glenn Gunderson, thank you. Do you want to do the video presentation? Okay. I think we won, didn't we, Kara? Oh, yes, go ahead.
So this is the Eagle Point Loppet and 50th anniversary for the Nordic Club. It took place January 24th, 2026 at Drayton Valley. It was hosted by the Pembina Nordic Ski Club. The event featured cross-country skiing, including classic and freestyle. Does anybody here know what freestyle is? Because I didn't. And distances ranging from 1 to 45 kilometers. And I was participating in the 5 kilometer and won the gold prize.
No, he wasn't accurately telling the truth there. Yeah.
Keep your clever line, hold your easy rhyme, silence everything, silence always wins. It's a perfect alibi, there's no need to analyze. You will be alright through the longest night, silence everything. But we could live by the foot of the mountain. We could live walls in the back. Feel the hope by the foot of the mountain. We could stay there and never come back. Learn from my mistake. Leave what others take. Speak what's spoken to. And do what others do. Silence always wins. So silence everything. It will be alright in the morning light. So silence everything. But we could live by the foot of the mountain. We could live at the yard in the back. Do the whole by the foot of the mountain. We could stay there and never come back. We could stay there and never come back. We could live by the foot of the mountain. Could stay there and see how it ends. We could stay there and see how it ends.
Good job, Glenn. Come on in. All right, Town of Drayton Valley request for joint municipal letter to, oh, that's been removed, hasn't it? Yes. So we're down to correspondence. Then municipal meetings. These are the ones you give a little report update on them? Or is this just it is, eh? No, it's just to receive them all for information? No, it is to give a little report. Okay, that head jiggle had me confused there. All right, Carol, Glenn, or Kara? You got it?
So the meeting was January 3rd, 2026, and before we started, we welcomed Brazeau County's new planning assistant and longtime Brazeau County resident, Tracy Denisuk. The MPC agenda was really light. It was only one item, and the meeting was short. The MPC approved the development permit for a solar collector with setback variances for the Brazeau County Solar Aquatic Systems Plant. We also approved the Municipal Planning Commission's member to attend the upcoming three-day Community Planning Association of Alberta conference that's going to be held in Red Deer, April 27th to the 29th. The next meeting will be February 10th, 2026 at 9 o'clock a.m. the West Central Airshed. Just because of the conference, the ASB, I ended up missing that meeting. And the Recreation Board, we had that January 15th at the Civic Center room at 1 o'clock. The Drayton Valley Thunder Club and Drayton Valley Community Hockey Association is hosting an event called Legends Night, which we have a table now, to celebrate 3 giants in the community who will be inducted into the Hall of Fame for their contribution to civic growth and community building. This year, Brian Winder, Alex Blaze, and Gary Nelson will be the recipients. The event is for February 20th, 2026 at the Mackenzie Center. The Town of Drayton Valley Council has purchased a table, and the Joint Rec Board is recommending that the county also purchase a table. We talked about the Loppet, which you've just seen, and February 26th at the Mackenzie Center will be the Mental Health Symposium from 8:30 to 3:30 p.m., a free event with lunch and resources. The event is sponsored by the Drayton Valley Rotary Club and Healthy Communities Committee, featuring local professionals offering a breakout session with information on men's mental health and support, youth and family mental wellness, addictions, preventions and support, aging and mental well-being. We also had some discussion around the implementation of a natural gas cogeneration unit to be installed at the pool to help pay for the power bill and generate revenue by selling the excess power to the grid. The best part of this idea is that the waste heat from the generator is used to actually heat the pool water. Administration is looking to have the delegation speak to this system, which is in our February 13th additions. And yeah, there's interest from, we'd like to also take a tour of one of these units, so if we can, we'd like to go, but maybe this delegation in February 13th will see that. Our next meeting for the Recreation Board has been scheduled Wednesday, February 25th, 2026, and the plan is to hold it at one of the recreation facilities.
If you do a tour, I'd be, would like to actually see it as well, just because I've had an interest in combined heat and power generation for quite some time, and it may be applicable operations that we could apply that to, not just the pool and the thing. The pool and the heating is an ideal setup for a combined heat and power system. All right. We are on Brazeau Foundation. Carol.
Thank you. The Brazeau Foundation, we met just recently on, we met on the 15th of January and had a regular meeting, and then we did actually have a meeting with MLA Bochenko on the 26th of January to talk about the Alberta government's financial participation as a capital investment in the new build that the Brazeau Foundation is proposing. That new seniors facility would would contain 120 units. Now that the town has granted us that land, that acreage in and across from the Shangri-La and the Wishing Well, we're waiting for, we have directed a letter off to MLA Bochenko so he could take it to the different ministries to see if we can get that support. The response was positive, and we're excited to start moving ahead with the project. So that was what we have with the Brazeau Foundation. Unfortunately, just a touch on the Wishing Well elevator is still down. They're having, they did manage to have a door sensor piece that decided it wasn't going to work again, and they've ordered it, and we're hoping that it'll be in at the end of this week. But that elevator's been down for 3 weeks, which just gives us more information and more ammunition, per se, to assist with that new build, because we do need the capacity. We have 70 people on the waiting list now at the Shangri-La and/or for facilities, for places to live. So that's just kind of where we're at with the Brazeau Foundation. Our next meeting is, we have directed some letters off to, like I said, to the ministries, and we will be having our next meeting in February 26th, actually. So thankfully it was put off, so I will be able to attend that meeting. When it comes to the Feminine Energy Synergy Group, we just had a meeting here last week. The original meeting was supposed to be on the 22nd. I was at the ASB conference on the 22nd, and they put it off until the 29th because Directive 71 came out from the Alberta Energy Regulator, which changes some of the dynamics, so they wanted to make sure that everybody was participating in that call first. I did attend that Zoom seminar while I was at the ASB, just so I was well-versed when we went into that meeting on the 29th, because it does change some dynamics as far as the emergency management plan goes forward for county and elected officials. So I know you guys have some elected officials training coming up here, so that's important. Rudy will speak to that later. In regards to the Feminine Synergy Group, they were under the Synergy Alberta mandate, kind of governance, and at their last provincial board meeting, they decided to dissolve Synergy Alberta. So they voted 6-4 to dissolve that, and so that passed. So the Synergy groups are kind of, there's about 5 that are very active across the province. They want to remain active, and they want to remain having that information. So we're looking at developing another means of keeping us all together. There's some really good things coming through on that. This last meeting that we had on the 29th, we talked about different things in regards to, we talked about AI, we talked about all sorts of things that were similar to us in regards to what topics we're going to put forward for the next meetings. So that's about all I have.
My middle name has AI in it. Harmadius. Harmai. A-I-A. That was as good as it gets. All right. All right, thank you. Dallas.
What's up?
Ag Service Board.
He's the boss.
Oh, Shane's the boss. Okay, Shane.
I'm not the boss of anything. So for the Ag Service Board, biggest thing we had was our 2026 ASB Provincial Conference. I'll just give you a quick rundown of what we had. So it was the 80th Provincial Agriculture Service Board Conference. We were there from the 20th to the 22nd, most of us leaving, I think, on the 23rd in the morning. We had a late night on the 22nd there. We had over 500 delegates from 66 of the 68 rural municipalities, with the theme being Cultivating Resilience. Amazing conference, lots of great stuff over 3 days. One of the best, I think, keynote speakers we had was Felipe Liti. I don't know if I said that right. Rode over 24,000 something kilometers from Calgary to Brazeau. I had a great conversation with him afterwards. He's a really neat guy. I guess for us, the biggest thing being some resolutions that went through. Advocacy is a big thing we talk about. So the couple that went through exempting agriculture equipment from 1999 emissions limits. The hope being this would reduce financial and operational burdens associated with DEF systems. Next was the review of on-farm meat processing regulations. So as somebody who, and many of the members of our ASB here as well, sell and process their own meat. So this was a good push for us. Urgent reform for the CFIA processing, as well as pausing the implementation of additional livestock traceability. And Strychnine was another one that went through as well for us to advocate for. For Brazeau County, I think the most relevant ones, of course, are going to be the emissions reducing, or the 1999 emissions limits. So that's probably a big one for us, as well as CFIA and the on-farm slaughter. And that's about it.
Okay, thanks for that. I think we're going to take a break and take a 5-minute break before public input, and then we'll come back to these reports here. So 5-minute recess. Okay, everybody's back. I'll call the meeting back to order. We left off right in front of public input session. It's an opportunity for the public to provide us with some thoughts, ideas, be respectful of the staff and of the councilors. Direct all your questions through me, and the floor is open. Yeah, put your hand up, and you gotta just come forward if you want to speak. Don't be shy.
Good morning. I'm Milo Mihailovich, and I spoke with you folks a couple months ago when the bridge first emerged as an issue. And I guess we missed the discussion of the bridge this morning. But Glenn shared with me that he'd put forward a motion to continue with the engineering program under the current budget, and that motion was defeated. And I guess that concerns me a little, because since that last meeting, what I've come to realize is that there are 3 families living between Township Road, or pardon me, Range Road 44A and the bridge. And what closing the bridge has done is it's put us in a fire bag, because there's no way out except to the east. And if you look along Township Road 482 from the bridge to Range Road 44A and even a little bit beyond, there's a tremendous amount of really old, either white spruce or black spruce forest. And if we get a fire situation in that forest, we've got no way out. So I just thought I'd sort of come and hear what was said, and I'm sorry I missed it, but I did want to make my concern about fire known. Thank you.
Any other issues that are out there?
Morning, Bart.
Morning.
I'm Shane Spanigal, landowner on quarter north of the bridge. We own the property on both sides of the bridge. As I mentioned last time, we have a reduction in service level requirements there, so obviously. Milo just addressed a couple of those concerns. I'm wondering if we can, when the WSP report would be made public. And so that's the engineering report that you've been informed of and have access to, but the public doesn't. And so I'm asking, when would the public get access to that report?
Is it public, Rudy, right now, or not?
Thought it was, but apparently we haven't distributed it yet, so.
Okay, so it's just a technical issue. It'll be distributed soon, and if you want, we can probably give you a call.
Okay. Second question would be, so what's next as far as the council's concerned? This morning you voted down a recommendation for further studies. So what
Well,
would be the
we're in a
next step?
bit of a dilemma right now. Spending another 160,000 on something that we know there's an issue that's there. And there was some discussion about if we're gonna fix it, I'd rather use the 160,000 to fix it rather than just more studies. There is a significant amount of money that needs to be invested there. And I'm a farm boy, so I can fix a bridge pretty easy. You drive down a couple of piles to refusal, put a cross member across the top, support it at each end, and away you go. But that's not allowed. So they say that has to be done and signed off by an engineer now. The traffic count there, from what I understand, is less than 8 vehicles a day. And you just have to be pragmatic in the approach. Do we have 7 million, 9 million, to serve 6 people? And it makes it a challenging discussion. There's only so much money in the pot. And so I think we're still open to ideas, but right now it's a financial issue that would probably limit it the most right now. I think you can understand that if you're a farmer, you don't buy a $400,000 tractor if you're only doing 60 acres.
Right, and we understand, Bart, the financial ramifications and limitations. I heard you say last time 8 vehicles a day. I've lived there since May, that's when we bought the property. I guarantee you there's a lot more than 8 vehicles traveling down that road per day. So I'm not sure how your study was conducted on that, but there's a lot more than 8 vehicles that travel down that road per day. There would be that many within a couple hours, so.
The numbers I heard was around 4 to 6. I was trying to be generous at 8, but if I'm out to lunch on that too, we can always, well, I guess we can't do a road count now. But those are the numbers that floated out at the time, but it certainly wasn't 100 vehicles a day. And even then, you got to think, do you spend 7 million or 8 million? And,
Right.
you know,
Yeah, I'm not going to argue the number of vehicles. I just know that it's more than 8 a day because I hear
Okay.
them go by, so, when I'm outside. So, I agree with you on the cost. If you know what you need to do, your options are either not do anything, or replace it, or repair it. So if repair it seems a more viable option, you don't want to spend a lot more money on studying it when you know what you need to do to repair it. So that's what I'm asking council is if we can have the report known, if there's enough information in the report that we already have that requires no more further study, if there's enough information there to make an informed decision.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Anybody else here? All right. If there's nobody, is anybody online? No? Thank you, Tina. All right, if there's nobody else that's got anything to provide for input, we'll go back to the meeting there, knowing this so that once we're out of public input, we generally don't reopen that again. So I'm just trying to make sure if you've got something you want to get off your chest, and don't be intimidated by us, because we're just ordinary folks that just happen to get elected, so. That's why we put, when the building was built, we put the public above us. You see, symbolic. All right, so I'm gonna come back to the council meeting here. We'll come out of the public input session right now, and we'll carry on with the business at hand. We left off at the Yellowhead Regional Library Board. Aria?
So my last meeting was last Monday, and that was just a trustee orientation, and unfortunately, I missed the last half because of our WSP meeting conflicting, but I do have my first executive meeting on Monday, so I look forward to that. And that's all to report for the Yellowhead. Can I just keep
carry
going?
on with your
Okay.
other two.
And then I unfortunately missed the last Drayton Valley Library Board meeting and didn't receive any minutes, so I couldn't tell you what happened there. And then FCSS, they only meet, I believe, quarterly, so my next meeting for that is in April.
Okay, thanks, Aria. Eagle Point, Dallas?
All right, well, we just got a nice report on the Loppet event that just occurred, and that was kind of one of the big deals for the year. Eagle Point Blue Rapids is currently working on our strategic plan, and we haven't had a meeting recently, but we'll look forward to one very shortly. So I'll report back on that at that time.
Kara?
I missed the last EPAC meeting due to the Ag Conference, but we did have an opportunity as council to attend the show on January 23rd. It was well attended by council, and I think appreciative of those that were in attendance, and very appreciative of the volunteers who do all the work there. And then for Warehouser, no meeting.
Okay, Alice, we've got a meeting on the 5th coming up here. Warburg Seed Cleaning, I don't know, did they lose our email here, Tina? Because they haven't contacted me really for a year almost now. Oh, they don't run it through you at all? Oh, do you? Okay. I'll have to take a look. Is there anything coming up right away? Okay. Warburg Seed, Warburg Seed Technology and Innovation, we haven't had one yet this year, but we'll have to line that up here pretty soon. Mayor's Task, what? Oh, I thought some,
That technology meeting is forthcoming. Yeah, it should be in the next couple of weeks.
okay. Mayor's Task Force on the unhoused, we've got a report coming out on the 4th, I think. It's either the unhoused, or what's the other one? There's 2 meetings that the town has. Oh, well, don't worry about it. I'll worry about it. And then, 24-hour enforcement initiative, oh, we're done with the meeting dates? Nothing on the additions? Okay, a motion to receive all the reports for information? Carol?
Can we just go back to the Breton and District FCSS, Dallas, I believe, Councillor Ekstrom? Did you report on that one?
Sure, we just recently had a meeting. Breton FCSS is incredibly busy, as you can tell. If you just follow along in the Breton Booster, all the updates are there recently. Yoga every Monday, 10 to 11. Adult exercise program continues on. Save the date for Family Day, February 16th, starting with pancake breakfasts, balloon artist face painting, family games, heritage map, family photos, community outdoor rink, so on and so forth. And Deanne is the driver behind, Deanne Young is the driver behind Breton FCSS, and she will be in sometime in the spring to give a full report on Breton. So,
Thanks for that.
you're welcome.
Sorry I missed that. Sorry you missed it. All right, so we need a motion still to accept all the reports as presented. Carol?
I move to accept all of the committee reports as presented.
Discussion? All those in favor? Carried unanimous. 24 enforcement initiative. Lac-La-Biche, that's at 1:30 today? No. Yes? It says February 10th there. But it's actually today, right? Where did I see? I thought we had a presentation from them. Isn't that at 1:30? Where did I see 1:30? Glenn, you must have been looking at it as well. Oh, that's on the 13th at 1:30, not today at 1:30. So that'll be a notice just sent out to us for our calendars then, Christina? Like the additions of February 13th virtual, that'll be sent out as a calendar reminder? Okay, thank you. Kara, go ahead.
I move to set the 24-hour enforcement initiative virtual presentation from Lac-La-Biche County, February 10th at 10:30 a.m. And it will be on Teams.
Discussion? All those in favor? Carried unanimous. Final budget dates? Kara?
I move to set the final budget dates for March 31st and April 2nd of 2026.
Discussion?
Say? I did mean to say, sorry, March 31st and April 1st.
Okay. Discussion? All those in favor? Carried unanimous. Invitation to council to attend and bring greetings at the Life Saving Sports Swim Meet, March 7th. Is that at the pool or is that someplace else? Kara?
Yeah. No idea, but I move to authorize the Reeve and/or designate to speak at the Life Saving Sport Swim Meet on March 7th at 8 a.m.
Discussion? All those in favor? Carried unanimous. Request for date suggested for next joint council meeting. Has the town given us some suggestions?
Like, they deleted it, and so instead, we're going to just do the February 13th and the additions. It'll be the virtual presentation from Alberta Free Energy Corp. at 1:30 PM on February 13th, and that's to talk about the cogeneration.
Okay, so you made that in the form of a motion? Glenn?
I move to set the date February 13th for the virtual presentation from Alberta Free Energy Corp., 1:30 PM.
Discussion? All those in favor? Carried unanimous. So we got the request for the next joint council meeting with the town? Oh, that one's been removed? Closed season, closed sessions, closed season. When's the closed season? Okay, no reports there. I guess we're done then today, right? There's nothing this afternoon? Okay. Did we bring in lunch today, or are we just going home? Okay. Anybody got anything else to say? A motion to adjourn then? Shane?
I move to adjourn.
Discussion? All those in favor? Carried unanimous. Good job, you guys.